Hello and a warm welcome to the AI with Arun Show. In this episode, we are diving into a topic that sounds like it has been pulled straight from a science fiction novel, but it is happening right now. We're talking about the Macrohard Gambit. This is xAI's, Elon Musk's own company, incredibly audacious plan to build an entire software company that is run completely from top to bottom by AI. Imagine a competitor to Microsoft where almost no humans work. That is the future we are going to explore today. So, what is the core idea behind Macrohard? This is not just about using AI to write code faster or automate a few tasks. This is what the project calls corporate singularity. The vision is to create a purely AI software company. Now, think about it. Not a company that uses AI, but a company that is AI. Every single function, from designing new products to deploying them, would be executed by autonomous AI agents, not people. This is a monumental leap beyond simple automation. The company itself becomes a self improving entity whose growth is limited only by how much computing power it has, not by how many people it can hire. And the engine behind this is a massive supercomputer program called Colossus, which we will get to in a moment, along with a digital workforce of specialized AI agents. So, how is this corporate singularity actually different from what we see today? It's a pure paradigm shift in how we think about creating software, and it rests on three core pillars. First, corporate singularity. This means the entire company, from the initial idea to a new app to its final deployment and updates, is run by autonomous AI agents. There are no traditional departments, no managers, humans, no teams of coders in the way we know them. The corporation itself becomes a single, intelligent, goal driven entity. Second, it allows it to become a self improving entity. A human run company's growth is limited by how many smart people it can hire and how well they work together. Macrohard's growth would be limited only by the amount of computing power it can access. The organization itself learns and evolves, becoming more efficient and more capable with every nanosecond. Finally, this goes far beyond automation. Automation is about giving a specific repetitive task to a machine. This is about automating the entire company that performs those tasks. It's a fundamental reimagining of what a corporation is, how it operates, moving from a collection of human roles to a unified autonomous AI. All right, let's talk about the name, Macrohard. Yes, it is intentionally satirical. It's a very direct and humorous jab at Microsoft, but don't let the tongue in cheek name fool you. As Elon Musk himself has said, the project is very real. In fact, xAI filed a formal trademark application for the name on August 1st of 2025 this year for use in downloadable computer software. This name actually serves a brilliant strategic purpose. It creates ambiguity. If the project fails, it doesn't pan out the way it was intended, it can be brushed off as just a quirky experiment, lowering the reputational risk. But if it succeeds, it will be seen as a masterstroke that was hidden in plain sight all along. So, what is the ultimate goal here? The best way to understand it is through the Apple analogy. We all know that Apple designs the iPhone, but they won't actually build it in their own factories. They partner with companies like Foxconn for manufacturing. Macrohard aims to follow a similar model, but on an entirely new level. The AI would develop entire software ecosystems, including new operating systems and applications. It would then design the perfect hardware to run that software on, and then contract out the physical manufacturing. The end result is what is called the full stack control. Total vertical integration from the computer chip to the operating system to the apps, all orchestrated by AI. A plan this ambitious requires an almost unimaginable amount of power. And that's where Colossus comes in. Located in Memphis, Tennessee, Colossus is described as the Gigafactory of Compute. It is the physical engine where Macrohard's AI will be trained, its software products will be forged. And the speed at which it's being built is simply staggering. This is not just a server room, it's an AI factory at an unprecedented scale. Now, let's look at the sheer scale of Colossus. The first phase, Colossus 1, brought 100,000 GPUs online in just 122 days and then expanded to 200,000. To put that in perspective, the CEO of NVIDIA, the company that makes these chips, called that speed unprecedented. Now they are building Colossus 2, which will have over 500,000 of the next generation GPUs. To make these numbers easier to grasp, GPUs or graphics processing units are the processors that are perfect for AI. And the computing power is measured in exaflops. One exaflop is 1 quintillion calculations per second. Colossus 1 has about 4 exaflops of power. Colossus 2 is targeting over 50. To power all of this, Colossus is moving into a gigawatt era of computing, meaning it will consume as much energy as a small city. Now, to make it easier for you, we created this table where you can see where Colossus 2 and where Colossus 1 are and how much of an upgrade really is Colossus 2 from Colossus 1. Feel free to pause the screen and take a look at this table that you see on your screens. So we have the factory Colossus. Now let's meet the workers. This is the agentic workforce. We are moving from a simple chatbot to digital labor force. Macrohard will be powered by hundreds of specialized AI agents, all derived from xAI's growth models. You will have agents that are expert coders, agents for design, agents for security, and so on. These agents will work together in a complex multi agent system tackling difficult problems in parallel. So, what is left for people to do? Well, the human role shifts from being a coder or a designer to being a conductor of this AI swarm. They become human governors who define the goals, maintain the systems, and step in only when there is a critical issue that the AI can't solve. This new workforce completely changes how software gets made. It becomes a continuous, autonomous loop. First, AI agents take the initial requirements and generate the software's architecture. Next, specialized coding agents write all the source code. Then, testing agents act like millions of virtual users running simulators to find any bugs or issues. Once the software meets a certain quality level, it is deployed to users automatically. And finally, the system monitors its own performance in the real world, gathers data, and immediately begins the next cycle of improvements all on its own. This closed loop process operates at a speed that is physically impossible for human teams using traditional methods like Agile or Scrum. Now, this brings us to the fascinating and complex relationship with Microsoft. xAI is using a sophisticated three-pronged strategy that can be described as strategic co-opetition. First, there is collaboration. In May, xAI began hosting its growth models on Microsoft Azure Cloud platform. This gives them revenue and access to enterprise customers. At the same time, there is competition. The Macrohard project is a direct public challenge, explicitly aiming to replicate Microsoft's entire structure using AI. And finally, there is antagonism. Elon Musk is actively suing OpenAI and has even added Microsoft as a defendant, accusing them of creating an anti-competitive monopoly. So the strategy is to use Microsoft platform to grow, to challenge them in the market and weaken them in the courts all at once. As you can imagine, the path forward is filled with enormous edges. Many experts are skeptical, viewing Macrohard as more of a branding spectacle than a credible threat for now. They argue that Microsoft's ecosystem, which was built over 40 years by a workforce of over 20,000 people, is incredibly difficult to replicate. There is also a huge enterprise trust barrier. Would a large corporation trust its most critical systems to a company run entirely by AI? These customers need reliability, security, and legal accountability. Things an AI run entity might struggle to provide. And finally, the technology itself is still developing. Multi agent AI systems can be unpredictable and are not yet at the level of reliability needed for enterprise grade applications. But whether Microhard fully succeeds or not, its existence forces us to confront some profound questions about the future. This is the dawn of the autonomous enterprise. Let's talk about it. The future of work. Now, one report suggests that while 85 million jobs could be displaced by 2025, 97 million new roles focused on AI management could be created. This points to a massive urgent need for retraining our workforce. Economic impact. When a company's growth is tied to computing power instead of human jobs, the economic benefits could become highly concentrated in the hands of those who own the AI and the infrastructure. Let's talk about governance and ethics. Who is liable when an AI product causes harm? Our current legal frameworks are simply not equipped to answer these questions. And then there is algorithmic bias. AI systems learn from human data. If that data contains biases, the AI can amplify and perpetuate discrimination on a massive scale with no human oversight to catch it. So, what is a realistic timeline for this? In the short term, over the next 1 to 2 years, expect to see impressive technical demos and the continued build out of Colossus. Success will be measured by their ability to produce complex software with minimal human help. In the medium term, 3 to 5 years, we'll likely see commercially viable products in niche areas like tools for game developers. It's unlikely they'll be able to replicate Microsoft's entire enterprise suite by then. In the long term, 5 years and beyond, an uncertain path. But perhaps Macrohard's true legacy won't be whether it beats Microsoft. Its legacy might be acting as a catalyst that forces every industry to accelerate its adoption of AI and sparks a necessary global conversation about the autonomous enterprises of the future. To close, I leave you with this thought from the report. Macrohard is a high risk, high reward venture that, regardless of outcomes, will fundamentally alter the trajectory of software development and force a global conversation about the dawn of the autonomous enterprise. With that, we come to the end of the show. Support our work by joining us as a member. And if you learned anything from this video, please like, share, and subscribe to the AI with Arun show. Thank you for watching.